Welcome back to Keen Plays. Today we're going to be looking at another board game. This is Pebble Rock Delivery Service from Skybound Tabletop Games. And I recently picked this up at Dollarama for only $5. And I actually found out about this game from a comment on one of my previous videos where I was looking at Bring Out Your Dead, another board game that I picked up from Dollarama. So thanks for letting me know to keep an eye out for this one, because I hadn't seen it yet at Dollarama. And so since then, I've just been checking out the store a little bit more often to see if this game came in. And luckily it did. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to get into it and see what it's like, because it got a pretty good rating. It came out in 2021 and it currently has a 6.8 out of 10 rating on Board Game Geek. And as I said, I picked it up for $5, which is a sick deal because on Amazon right now they're selling it for $34. So pretty sweet. I'm excited to get into it. It's supposed to be a little bit more of a kids game. It's for ages 8 and up, 2 to 4 players, and it's a 30 to 45 minute game. So very, very cool. Yeah, let's get into it, see what the components are like, and maybe see how to play this game. Yeah, so there we go. I will say this is quite a heavy box. I imagine that this thing is just stuffed full of components. Okay, so there we go. We've got a couple decks of cards out front here. There we go. Okay, so pretty decent. Yeah, they feel pretty good. Not like the best quality ever, but nothing wrong with that. And you know, they look good. Like I like the artwork on it. Definitely kid-friendly vibes. Yeah, very nice. There we go. Assignments, items, deliveries. Okay, very cool. Bunch of cards there. And then a whole whack of little plastic standees. Yeah, okay. Lots of those. And then we've got a bag here. It's always nice. We got some dice. Those feel pretty good. Different types of dice here. One's got some fish on it. This one's got, yeah, a bunch of different things. Some specialty dice there. Very nice. They feel good. And we've got the rule book here. Decent amount of rules for a kid's game, but not too bad. And we got a little catalog here for summer 2021. Okay, and then we've got looks like some player boards here. We've got Oscar, and these are just like, they're not actual boards. They're fairly thin, but you know, feels pretty solid. Decent quality for sure. We got Oscar, we got Pebble, we've got Hamish, very nice, and Elvis. Okay. And then we've got Brock's Top Tips for new navigators. Little breakdown of a turn here. Alright, that's kind of neat. Okay, what do we got going on here? Got some puzzle pieces. Okay, that's pretty big, man. Okay, and we've got more. Holy crap. This is gonna be huge, man. We've got a whole puzzle set up by the looks of it. Okie Dinah. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit this all on here. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty big. It is pretty big. Okay, well anyways, yeah, big old puzzle here that makes up the board. Okay, there we go. And we got some little punch outs here. We've got some of their games here. Promo extras not needed for gameplay. I mean, that's kind of cool though, right? Like, why not? If you got some extra space, just like have some printouts of your other games. That's pretty funny. I kind of dig that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, these components really feel good as well. These must be for all the standees there. You got lots going on. Yeah, wow. Yeah, these feel great. Lots going on here. Okay, well, I'm going to punch out all those and then we can get into how to play this game. Okay, so this is the game all set up, and I just want to start off by saying how absolutely huge this game is. Like it takes up a lot of space. I can't even really get it all into frame in my little camera stand. So this is just, rolling footage here, but I just went through the game myself, and it's fairly simple, even though quite a setup has to take place before you can play this game. But essentially it is just a pick up and deliver game. You're going to start off with your own player board where you just pick whichever character you like, basically. So I picked Pebble here. You'll take this little upgrade card here. You can just place it there or beside it. And each player starts off with 3 fish in their net and 4 cargo on their ship. You also have these item slots here where throughout the game you can pick up items that will help you. And then you'll take your boat and put it here on Pebble Rock. That is the starting position. So each player, there's 4 spaces. Each player can put theirs in one of those spaces. And then you shuffle up this deliveries deck and you put out 3 delivery orders. And at each one of these spaces, so Penguinburg there, you'll put this delivery standee there, indicating that there's a delivery available at Penguinburg. There's also this Watcher's Rest, where it's a little bit different. You aren't delivering cargo, you are picking up a passenger and taking them to a different location. So here you would pick up a passenger at Watcher's Rest and take them to Lizard Rest. Those are the only 2 variants. The only other difference is how much cargo you would be delivering. So over here at Old Shipwreck, they only need 2 packages. Over here, they need 3. It can go up to 4. And based on that is how many victory points you get, which is this here. So for these ones, as soon as you drop off 3 cargo items, you get 12 points. This one, you have to pick them up and take them to this place before you can get the 9. And once you do that, you just move your little token along this outer track. You can also get points from just having fish. For every 3 fish that you have on your boat at the end of the game, it's worth 1 victory point. Also at the beginning of the game, there are these assignment cards. Each person will receive 2 of them, and you can pick one of these to keep, and the other one you'll just discard. So by the end of the game, if you have delivered a treasure chest to the Dread Pirate Roberto, you get 10 victory points. And for this one, if you make 2 deliveries to yellow or green islands in any combination, you get 5. If you make 3, then you would get 10. So just another way of getting some more victory points. Besides that, the only other way of getting victory points is at the end of the 10th round. If you can successfully get your ship back to Pebble Rock, you get one of these lighthouse tokens, and that is worth 3 points at the end of the game. And also at the end of the game, the colors on these cards matter, because if you get a set of all 4 colors, so there we go, if you get a set of blue, green, yellow, and red, one set is worth 5 victory points. And there's these passenger cards here They have two colors on them, so when you're scoring that, you can choose one or the other. And like I said previously, the game lasts for 10 rounds. Once the 10th round is up, you just count up your points. Whoever has the most wins. And as for gameplay, it's fairly simple. You have these dice here. You can either choose to move slowly but safely with the green dice, or you can be a little bit riskier and move faster with the red dice. Because when you roll these dice, this indicates your movement, how far you can move, and on this dice here, it will show a symbol. So in this case, you have the whale here. You get to move the whale token next to your character, and the whale gives you an extra cargo if you have space. Also on this green dice, you have this wind gust here, and that just doubles your movement roll. There is also a fish icon there, and that means that you roll this fish dice, and it tells you how much fish you can pick up. And those just go into your boat here. The other thing with the fish is that you can spend them to move extra spaces. One fish is one extra space you can move. So quite valuable, as well as victory points at the end of the game. But if you need to get going faster, you can choose to roll the red dice, which is a little riskier. On the red dice, there is a 5, 6, 7, or 8. And on the green dice, there is a 3, 4, 5. And this is a little bit riskier because there's a few things that can happen. If it has this jet stream symbol on it, you would take one of these jet stream tokens and you would place it underneath your character. And then later on, if anyone lands on that jet stream, they would get to roll their movement dice again. So it doesn't really affect you, but it can help out your opponents. Also on this red dice is the shark token here. That means that you would move the shark next to you, and then you would roll the fish dice, and however many it shows is how many fish it eats from your ship. The other option here is the pirate. Again, if you roll the pirate dice, then you would take the pirate token there and move it next to your ship, where the pirate would steal one of your cargo. If you don't have any cargo, nothing happens. And with the shark, if you don't have any fish, nothing happens. But with the pirate, if you don't have any cargo, but you just have a passenger that you've picked up, the pirate will take your passenger. And if you end up picking up one of these treasure chests, then he will take that. And that's the other thing with this treasure chest, which I kind of mentioned with that one assignment, is when you pick these up, there's just 4 random places around the map where you can pick up a treasure chest. You can actually take it and then deliver it to the pirate. And when you do that, you get 10 victory points in this case. They have, I think it's up to 12, but so that's yet another way that you can score victory points that I almost forgot about. So there's definitely lots going on in this game, but it's relatively simple because all you do on your turn is you just roll these dice. You either choose, slow and steady or, fast and risky. And then you move your ship around this board. If you pass through the pirate ship, you lose a cargo. If you pass through the shark, you have to roll and lose some fish. If you pass through the whale, it gives you an extra cargo. And to complete those deliveries, all you have to do is get to the island that has the delivery icon on it. And you can make that delivery and then just keep moving, keep going. And then there's a few different spaces on these islands. As you can see there's some fish icons. If you land on that at the end of your turn, then you can roll the dice and go fishing, pick up some fish. And then there's the market icons, where if you land on that at the end of your turn, then that's where you can choose one of those items. Once per turn, you can play one of these, and they range from, anything. There's some fishing gear that, you just get an extra fish when you go fishing. Shark repellent, you can avoid the shark. And then there's the lucky shell. You can re-roll a dice. And when you pick those up, those just go in your item slots here. And when you use them, you just discard them. There's a few different kinds here. There's this cargo upgrade that when you use it, it takes up a slot, but that's when you would get to flip over this card and get an extra slot for the rest of the game. Unless you end up, discarding this somewhere along the line, then you would also lose your upgrade. There's another lucky shell, fishing gear, shark repellent. There's jam sandwich. You can use this to move 3 extra spaces. Friendly visit. Move Maisie to an empty space next to your boat. Water cannon. You can use this to avoid the pirates. And I think that's about it. Yeah, it looks like it. And I believe that's really all there is to it. So quickly, I'll just try and go through a turn with you guys so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Let's say I want to go fast. So I roll these dice. Okay, I rolled a 6 and nothing, so nothing bad happens. Now I can move 6 spaces. I could try and get to Penguinburg here because I would be getting 12 victory points if I make that deal. But I only rolled a 6. So to get there, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost there. And that's where I could use one of my fish here to move an extra space and just get rid of it. And then I could move one more and I would make the delivery. So I would just move 3 of these cargo tokens here. And then I would be able to do this delivery. And if I wanted to, I could, spend a couple more of my fish tokens to move back up to here, where I could then pick up one of these item cards, put it into my item slot, and use it later. And that would be the end of my turn, where I would get these 12 victory points, and then I would just put this beside my board for the end of the game, where I can try and get a set of colors. So I would just move my token over to 12 there, and then it would be the next person's turn. So there we go. That's that's a little bit of gameplay there. Hopefully it all made sense, and sorry that I wasn't able to get a full overhead shot of this, but it is just massive, which is very cool. Like as a kid, I think I would have been super into this just because it's like so big, and and all of these islands have like standees, and honestly overall, like it's a very well designed game. Like it definitely opens itself up, and if you get enough fish and you can re-roll the dice and try and get like double movement, then you can really do a lot. You can do like 2 or even 3 deliveries on a turn. I could see there definitely being like a little bit of strategy for what you want to do, because you want to be able to make as many deliveries as possible, but you also run out of cargo, and the best way of getting cargo is to, if you end your turn on Pebble Rock there on one of the docks, then you automatically fill up all your cargo. Otherwise, you basically have to use Maisie the whale. She'll give you 1 cargo per turn if you go next to her. And the bad guys don't do a whole lot. They're like a little bit annoying, but that's about it. The only other thing that I can think about that I haven't mentioned yet is that there is like a bit of a handicap. If you're in last place, then you can choose to roll like the fast dice as well as the helpful dice. So you would be able to roll these 2 where you get to move fast, and then you also get like a good item. So you get fish there, and you'd get to move 8 as well. And that can get pretty wild, because if you were to ever like roll an 8 and the wind gust, then you're able to move 16. So if you have the cargo, you could easily do all of those deliveries and then make it back to Pebble Rock to fill up your cargo again. So huge advantage if you're in last place. You can roll you know, the best dice basically. So I think I got everything. You know, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to ask them in the comments. And as always, feel free to like this video or subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. And thank you guys so much for watching. See ya.